Most people think that manifesting your specific person means sending thoughts through the airwaves, hoping they pick up on your energy. But that's not how it works. The truth is, your SP can't stop thinking about when you only give your attention to that version of them. Whatever version you focus on, that's the one you experience. A lot of my clients, when they first come to me, believe they have to project their thoughts out or try to make their SP feel them. But when they learn to simply live in the assumption that their SP is already in love, already obsessed with them, everything changes. In this video, I'm going to break down exactly how to do this. Why attention is the only thing that creates the version of your SP that you experience, how to ignore the version who is representing the old story, and how to fully lock into the version who can't stop thinking about you, calling, texting, making all the effort for you. Once you understand this, manifesting your specific person becomes simple. Because you're no longer chasing, you're just experiencing the version you've already chosen. If you're new here, hello, I'm your Muse Traci. On this channel, I teach you how to peel back the false layers of programming and limiting beliefs to help you erase limits, embody power, and effortlessly manifest the life of your dreams, including your specific person. Here's the key. Attention equals creation, or better said, selection. You're selecting the version that is already created because creation is finished, right? If you're focusing on the version of your specific person who ignores you, then that's the version you're selecting. But when you keep your focus on the version of them who's deeply interested, calling, texting, showing up for you, that's the one you're selecting, and that's the one that you'll experience. Your specific person doesn't change because you convinced them to. You pleaded, you begged, you chased. None of that works. They change because you stopped giving your attention and therefore stopped giving life to any other version. Now, let's first talk about what to do with the old version who seems distant, cold, uninterested. It's the old version. Let's talk about how to deal with this because I know this is a question that I get asked so much. So let's talk about it. The answer really is simple. You stop feeding this version, feeding them with your attention, with your belief, and with your reactions. How do you do this? This is where I see a lot of people getting tripped up because they can't let go of the old story. They can't let go of reacting to the old version. And this is exactly what I help my clients do. You are going to have to stop, feeding this old version if you want to stop experiencing it. And if you want to manifest your preferred version of your SP, you'll have to let go of the old version. You cannot serve two masters, as Neville teaches. Everyone is yourself pushed out. You select the version that you experience through your attention. So only give your attention, your belief, your reaction to the version that you absolutely do want to experience. The old version only shows up in your reality as long as you give it life or attention. Every time you spiral about what they haven't called or they haven't done or whether they care, you're keeping that old unwanted version present in your reality. You're keeping it there. Ignore it. Starve it of your focus because the moment you withdraw your attention, it can't keep existing in your reality. Now, of course, there's a time delay, but you really have to know that the moment you intentionally remove your attention, your focus, your belief from the old unwanted version, it is on its way out. It's cycling out the moment you stop giving it attention. And you aren't doing this for the other person. Let me be clear. You're doing it for you. for your reality so that you can start to experience what you deeply desire. You can start to experience your preferred version of this person that you love so much. So now that you removed your attention from the old version, now you lock in your focus and attention into the version of your specific person who can't stop thinking about you and who is showing up and making all the effort for you. That means when you imagine them, you only entertain the version who's already chosen you. You're not waiting to see this in the external reality. You have to go first. You always go first. So you only entertain the version who has already chosen you. You stop asking, when will it happen? You stop asking, how will it happen? You have to stop asking how this new version is going to show up. That's not your job. The how is never your job. And you limit yourself by asking how and when. You are limiting your own manifestation, your own creation, when you don't need to do that. So you stop asking how and when, and you start knowing it's already done and it's already available. You don't need to figure out how. That's not your job. When I was going through this, you guys, I started to take delight in the fact that I didn't have to know how. What a relief. I started to really let go of that. And every time I saw myself letting go of that, I would feel like, what a relief. I don't have to figure that out. So set yourself free. The how is not your job. That is not manifesting. If you're focusing on the how, you're still taking action. You're still acting in the 3D, thinking that it's your action that gets things accomplished, and you're missing all the power and all the potential that you can accomplish through manifestation. So start to delight in the fact that you never have to figure out how. Just give it up. Just gladly give it up like I did. When you live in that assumption that it's already done and it's already available to you, your SP reflects it back to you, because that's the only version you accept in your consciousness, in your awareness. And therefore, that's the only version that you're aligned with. And therefore, that's the only version that is possible to show up in your reality. Again, there's a time delay, so you have to go first and you have to be consistent and persistent and consistent. Did I say consistent twice? Well, that's how important it is. So I want to share with you now a success story from one of my clients. So she was in this situation where her specific person had broken things off. He had expressed that they should just both move on, right? So this was sort of like his go-to line. There wasn't really a reason that he would give her. And again, this is sort of a clue into how everyone, as you pushed out, they don't even know what they're doing sometimes. So they just come up with these lines that don't really make sense. And again, this is a clue. So anyway, my client had heard this from her specific person. He expressed to her that they both just needed to move on. And she hadn't heard from her specific person in months when she came to work with me. And we started working together and going through the program, my one-on-one coaching program, working on her beliefs, working on her programming. And we started to hone in on this preferred version of her specific person, the desired version. It was the version who couldn't stop thinking about her, who only wanted to be with her, who saw her as his dream girl, saw her as everything he had ever wanted. She imagined him even referring to her as his goddess. I told her, now that you have this clear picture, you're clear on the wanted version, you have to stop feeding the version that just needs to move on. Stop feeding the version who ignores you and just has this concept that you have to move on. Both of you need to move on. I had her only give attention to the version of him who was reaching out, missing her, wanting to be with her. And within weeks, he called out of nowhere and literally said, I can't stop thinking about you. I don't know why. You've been on my mind constantly, and you're everything that I've ever wanted, my goddess. So it was everything that she had been focusing on. And this is thought transmission. This is everyone is yourself pushed out as taught by Neville. This isn't manipulation or forcing. This is the power of your assumption, the power of your consciousness. And it definitely isn't a coincidence. That's not how this works. And you can tell by, the exact words being reflected back to her. And it's not a coincidence, and it's not, just happening. But I want you to understand this is on a positive and a negative side. Either way, they are going to reflect you. If you hold these negative assumptions, they're going to reflect that. But you can just as easily hold the positive assumptions and they will reflect that. There is no limits here, you guys. So choose wisely and choose the version that you prefer to experience, and stop giving your attention to anything else. Anything else than what you prefer is really irrelevant. It's completely irrelevant. So learn from my client's success. She stopped aligning with the old version. And since she was only focused on her preferred version, that is exactly the only version that was now present in her reality. The one who couldn't stay away and saw her exactly as she was focusing on him seeing her. So remember this, you guys, your SP doesn't need to be convinced, chased, controlled, or even changed. This has nothing to do with changing them. You change your concept of them and they will reflect that back to you. It works only if you work it, as Neville says. You've got to be consistent. You've got to be committed to doing this for you. If this was helpful, like this video and leave me a comment. And if you need some help with this, as most of us do on this journey, by the way, this is exactly what I work with my one-on-one clients to do, so that they can take charge of their reality and start focusing on their preferences for them. They take their power back and start creating the life that they love. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.